Hello, and congratulations on your Law Review membership. My name is Eric Dye, and I am your Lexis rep. Prior to joining Lexis, I attended UC Davis Law School in Northern California, practiced as an attorney to the California State Legislature drafting bills and legal opinions for 5 years, and then clerked for 2 Michigan State Court judges. Lexis was always extremely helpful to me in law school and in practice. Today, I am excited to combine my practical knowledge and experience with Lexis's stellar sources and functionality to help you do the following 3 things. 1. Make sure that articles submitted to your publication are not preempted. 2. Set up alerts to monitor for future preemption. And 3. Use Safe Assign on your Lexis web course effectively when doing a plagiarism check. Learning about these Lexis features and functions like them will help you in law school and throughout your law career because Lexis is heavily represented in the commercial market. It has contracts in 94% of the AmLaw 100 law firms, 4,000 corporations use Lexis, as do many federal, state, and local courts and agencies, JAG-Corps, and 30,000 small law firms. So let's go ahead and get started. So when it comes to preemption checking, I always tell people who are writing an article for publication that preemption checking is the most important part of the publication process. A thorough preemption check assures the originality of their work. The more original, the more likely it will be that their work will be selected for publication. However, it is equally important that a publication itself, like the Law Review, know how to do a preemption check to ensure that they are not potentially publishing something that is not original. Preemption checking is not a one-time proposition. It is an ongoing process. It is imperative to run weekly checks on the articles you intend to publish to ensure your articles remain unique all the way up until the time you publish them. You need to read any article which you have a question about to make sure it is not preempted article you wish to publish. Do not assume that another article on a similar topic is okay because it seems that way from the first few paragraphs. You need to actually read the whole article. I'm going to show you how to do that. So what does it mean to be preempted? This is a good place to start when we're trying to do a preemption check. What does it mean? The straightforward definition of preemption is that you should not publish an article that someone else has already written. Very simple in theory, but a little more complicated in practice. So here are some rough guidelines on what it means not to be preempted. Of course, these guidelines are always subject to the policies of your individual publication, and you'll want to check with them. So here are 6 instances in which you might think you're preempted, but you're not. 1. An article has been written on the topic, but it was written several years ago, and some new and interesting legal developments have since occurred. In this case, the article you want to publish is not preempted. Another situation, 2. An article makes the same argument your article makes, but comes to a different conclusion, and there have been significant changes in the law. The article you want to publish is not preempted. 3. An article has been written on the topic of your article, but your article makes the opposite argument. Your article is not preempted. Though one caveat to this is that your article's argument has to be a valid legal argument that can be subjected to analysis, not just being contrary for the sake of being contrary. 4. If you find an article that is 6 sections long and one of those sections is on the topic of your article is not preempted. The thought here is that a section of an article is usually about 5 to 6 pages. If your entire article is preempted by a 5-page section of another article, your article probably did not have a solid topic in the first place. 5. If an article has a similar introduction as your article, that does not necessarily automatically preempt your article. Authors cannot write in a vacuum, so articles on the same topic will have similar histories or initial explanations. You should think of the introduction as the foundation of a house. It is fine that your article has a similar foundation as another article, as long as the rest of your article is written or built in a different manner. And then finally, an article has a different argument than your article, but comes to the same conclusion. In this case, your article is probably not preempted. So those are 6 situations in which you're not preempted. Your article is preempted if you find a relatively recent article, the date here will vary depending on your article's topic, that makes the same argument and comes to the same conclusion and covers every aspect of your article's topic. If you find another article like that, the article you want to publish is preempted. So how do you figure out if an article you want to publish is preempted or not based on these rough guidelines? There are a few different methods for conducting preemption checks depending on your article's particular topic. Today I am going to focus on the two most common types: term preemption checks and Shepard's preemption checks. So let's start with term preemption checks. If an article you are considering publishing has been written about extensively, that significantly increases the odds that your article's topic is preempted. It is best to begin by running a broad search of your article's topic in law reviews and journals. Lexis has over 800 law reviews and journals, so you can rest assured that your preemption check will be thorough. So to do the check, let's go ahead and go to Lexis Advance. We will start by logging into the Lexis Law School homepage at www.lexisnexis.com/law school, and you will see this page. To get to Lexis Advance, let's go ahead and click Go to Lexis Advance at the top of the page, and that will bring up Lexis Advance. So when constructing a term preemption check search, ask yourself what terms or phrases would an article have to use to preempt your article. For example, an initial term preemption check on an article about medical marijuana in the workplace would look something like this. So go to Explore Content, right here, then click on Secondary Materials, because you're looking for law reviews and journals, which are a type of secondary material. Click on Law Reviews and Journals, because that's what you want to find. And then in the big red search box, you will want to type employ or employer or workplace within 25 words of the phrase medical marijuana. And then go ahead and click search. So you are searching for these words within 25 words of this phrase medical marijuana within law reviews and journals on Lexis. And when you do that, Lexis automatically searches for all forms of your search terms. Therefore, this search will find any form of the root word employ, so words like employs, employed, employing, or employer or workplace within 25 words of the phrase medical marijuana. And when you're using phrases, make sure you put those phrases in quotes like I did. How do you then review the articles to make sure your article is not preempted? Well, begin by reading the titles, the date, and your highlighted search terms in context. So the titles, the date, and these highlighted terms. If this combination convinces you that the article could possibly preempt your article, you need to review it. For example, let's open Protecting Medical Marijuana Users in the Workplace, which is the second result. Almost all articles will contain a section in the introduction that sets forth exactly what will be discussed in the article. Review that section to determine if you need to review the entire article or parts of the article, or if the article does not preempt you at all. So here, looking in the introduction, you'll see it talks about Part 1 of this note gives a brief history of medical marijuana regulation in the United States and goes on to explain what each part does. That's what you're looking for. Now, when you're doing a search like this, you can always refine your search for more precise terms that would have to be used in an article preempting your article. So here we had over 100 results come back. If we want to narrow that down a little bit more, we might want to add the terms drug-free or zero tolerance if we know our article deals with those topics. Any article preempting our article must necessarily use those terms. And so finally, doing this type of preemption check will generally tell you if an article you wish to publish has been preempted or not. However, a really powerful way to be even more sure whether your article that you want to publish is preempted or not is to do a Shepard's preemption check. So Shepard's is the standard in the legal industry, and it has been so for 140 years. A Shepard's preemption check is used when your article focuses on a case or statute to such a degree that you can say that any article that preempts your article would have to cite to that particular case or statute. Because remember, that's all Shepard's is doing. Shepard's is looking for other cases or for cases that cite to your case or your statute. So in this case, we're going to use Shepard's to find other articles that actually cite to our case or statute, which is another thing Shepard's can do. So for example, let's say your article focuses on the case with citation 540 F3rd 231. Let's type that citation into the search box and click search to pull up the case. So we're going to go back to our main Lexis Advanced Research page, and we're going to type in 540 F3rd 231, and we'll search for that. This will bring up the case. Once you have the case up, click on the Shepard symbol, which is next to the case name, or just click Shepardize this document to bring up a Shepard's report. So in this example, we're assuming that the article we're concerned about, the one that we want to publish, cites to this Combs case, and that any other article that might preempt our case, i.e. be on making the same argument and have the same conclusion, would necessarily have to cite to the Combs case. So what we're going to be looking for in the Shepard's report are other law review articles that cite to the Combs case. To get those, we'll look at the menu on the left-hand side of the screen to see all the different parts of the Shepard's report. We want to look at other citing sources that cite to the Combs case. Other citing sources will retrieve all law reviews and journals, statutes, treatises, court documents, and restatements that have cited to the case. Once in here, we can narrow down by content type because we only care about law reviews that cite to this case. So let's click on law reviews on the left-hand side of the screen. You can now review all the resulting articles or use the search within results option here on the left-hand side to narrow the results to the law review articles that discuss certain key terms or phrases if those terms or phrases would also be in an article that would preempt you. Now, remember when I said that preemption checking is an ongoing process? Well, there is one more thing to do after doing your term and Shepard's preemption checks, and that is set up an alert. Note the bell icon at the top center of the screen. This is the alert icon. Alerts will increase the efficiency of your research by automatically tracking newly added relevant materials. This is an effortless way to have relevant materials delivered directly to your email or stored online for quick retrieval and review. You control how often you wish to be updated. You can always edit or delete your alerts online by clicking on Alerts under More. Here's More, click on Alerts. You will want to set up an alert on your article to monitor law reviews and journals for any potential preemption issues that come up before the article is published. You can set up an alert on a search, or with which you've searched for your term preemption check, or on a Shepard's report, which you did with your Shepard's preemption search. We're in the Shepard's report now, click the bell icon in there for your alert for your Shepard's preemption check. So now you've done your preemption checks and set up your alerts. But in addition to doing the preemption checks I just outlined, you will also need to do a plagiarism check. And I understand that your law review uses SafeAssign through its Lexis web course Blackboard site to do that check. SafeAssign looks for other writings that your article may have lifted from word for word. It is looking for exact matches. This is different from the preemption checks we just discussed, in which you are using Lexis Advanced to look for other writings that substantively overlap with the article you want to publish. In other words, when you do a preemption check, you are using your own legal mind and judgment to figure out if the substance of the article you wish to publish has in fact already been published, even if your article did not use the exact words of the other article. Whereas SafeAssign is a computer program just looking for exact matching language. So when a student has written a note for a class like scholarly writing and then submits it to the law review, the note has likely already been run through SafeAssign when the student turned it in for their class. If the student did not select the right settings when submitting the note for class, the note will get added to the text SafeAssign checks. That means that unless the student makes significant changes to the note between when they submit it for class and when they submit it to the law review, SafeAssign will indicate that the note is nearly 100% plagiarized because it will find all the overlap in language from when the student submitted it for class. There is an easy way to address situations like this when doing your plagiarism check on SafeAssign. So I'm going to show you how. So we're going to go ahead and go to your Law Review web course. Here's your web course page. Then scroll down and on the left-hand side, click on Course Tools. Then select SafeAssign. Then click on Direct Submit to see articles that have been directly submitted to the Law Review. and then click on the Shared tab. Then, for the sake of example, let's go ahead and click into the Hillary 2016 folder. Then let's click into the Julie folder. And if you scroll down, you will see the Catherine Rogers article. And you also see that there's indication from SafeAssign that it's found other documents that match this article 100%. That would seem to indicate plagiarism on the surface, but you can't just stay on the surface. You have to actually dive into the SafeAssign report to figure out what's going on. So to get the full picture you need to go into the SafeAssign report. To do that, click the little green checkbox button next to the percentage. In the report, you will see the portions of the article that match other documents highlighted for you. So it's highlighting the portions of the article that it found were already written in the same way in other documents out there in the SafeAssign system. So here, the whole thing is highlighted, mostly in yellow. You will see the documents that it's finding a match with listed on the right-hand side of the screen. And the documents that it's finding the match with will each be color-coded. So here, it's indicating that most of the documents that it's finding a match with were written by the owner. So they were written by this article author herself. So that does not indicate plagiarism. It indicates that this piece was already run through the system once before. To get around this, go ahead and click on the highlighters that indicate matches with the author's own work. Doing this will unhighlight matches that were the author's own work. After doing this, then scan through the document and see what highlighting is left to determine if there has been any plagiarism. Here, there's very minimal highlighting left, so it's unlikely that there's any plagiarism at issue. But if you had just looked at the percentage and seen 100%, you might have been much more concerned. And that's why you absolutely must click into the SafeAssign report itself to figure out what's actually going on. So you should now feel confident that you can use Lexis to ensure that your comment or note topic is neither preempted nor plagiarized. Lexis is here to help you succeed in your journal and throughout the rest of your law school career. Not only do we provide you with opportunities to earn rewards while you learn and free and unlimited printing, but if you have any questions about Lexis Advanced in general or your journal work in particular, you can count on unparalleled support. You can access the live support chat feature from Lexis Advanced under the More dropdown by clicking on Live Support, or clicking back over to the law school homepage. You can always find our 1-800 number, 1-800-45-LEXIS, that's available to you with research attorneys 24/7 for help. Additionally, you can always contact me, and my contact information is on the homepage, or any of your student representatives. So in conclusion, make sure to conduct a thorough preemption check to ensure the originality of any work you wish to publish. 2, then make sure to set up an alert on your article's topic so that you can monitor law reviews and journals for potential preemption issues up until the publication date. And then finally, when using SafeAssign for plagiarism checks, always go into the SafeAssign report itself to determine what the matching percentage actually means. Good luck, and thank you for your time today.